Beyond downtime data's hidden dividends.
Leadership teams often see data cleansing as a sunk cost rather than an investment. It's so true. And beyond just reducing downtime, what are the top 2 or 3 hidden financial metrics we should be tracking to prove that governance asset data is driving the bottom line?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. But let me just say a very, very bold statement that if any organization is maintaining and managing the duplicate records, be it master data records or be it metadata records within their organization, I personally believe that it is sin, because we are in the AI era and we are unable to identify, eradicate duplicate records. And duplicate records are causes for duplicate spares or duplicate assets. And I don't think that anybody should consider data cleansing or data harmonization as just a sunk cost, because the real benefits are afterwards. Once you establish, before you plant the tree, you cannot say that, okay, how many fruits it's really going to give us back. So you need to plant, you need to invest, and that's a seed. Once you seed that, it will take a little bit of time. But I know of the organizations with whom we are working for a decade or more than a decade. They say that the decisions that we made 10 years ago, 15 years ago is actually where we are standing today. That's the foundation on which we are standing. And very simple thing with regards to also the duplicate spare parts or duplicate models that we have and all of that, the value leak is too big to even assess. I'll just give an example of it. About 2 months ago, we did a project just to identify what is the working capital cost, total working capital. You will not believe 42% could have been avoided, reduced. And this has been for the past 5 years. And imagine what is 42%. And it was in millions, by the way. It was not in, hundreds of thousands. It was in millions and hundreds of millions. So 42% of hundreds of millions, I cannot name, the scenario or a customer, but absolutely it is a sin that, people are working on the wrong data and maintaining it as if it is their duty. Like what Shreyas was mentioning, that majority of the, admin time is just to maintain that bad data and get it corrected and use it. So I don't think that anybody would have any excuse with the tools and with the AI that is available now. And in fact, we have also a lot of hundreds of AI models that can scale up. They can accelerate the data harmonization, normalization as per the ISO standards. And then you can actually have the right foundation. Once you have the right foundation, like everybody knows, AI would work, as smooth as it can. But if you do not have the right foundation, then that is definitely a challenge.
That's true. No, great insights from both of you. I wanted to just give a shout out to Mohammed Faraz, who's joined us. Thank you so much for your comment. He says this is exactly what many organizations struggle with, and he agrees 100%.
Amir, I think, and this is a very important question, right? So, and I want to be a little careful how I answer this, because you need to, now if you're doing this internally and you're part of the organization, you have to remember that there are performance related aspects here. So we typically don't want to blur those boundaries, because we don't want like our procurement teams to think that, hey, we're looking into how they perform day to day as a procurement team. But there are important metrics that you can still monitor, that will take a look at exactly these kind of productivity issues or challenges with the process per se. And this metric which I'm going to talk about, it's called a rate of procurement leakage or procurement leakage, right? It's very underestimated, and usually when you bring in a third-party consulting firm to come and take a look at optimization opportunities across the organization, that is when they will recommend something like this to you. So, it's only at the absolute end of an initiative like that you get to know that this metric might probably help. But I think it's a good place to start because it gives you an idea of how big this problem really is. So when we talk about procurement leakage, we're talking about the level of duplicate purchases we are making today, the kind of expedited shipping your procurement teams are doing today, how many incorrect and unavailable parts continue to remain incorrect and unavailable today, right? How many times have they bought components that do not match the requirement that comes from these teams? So it's extremely important to know the size and extent of the problem that you're dealing with before you go ahead and mount an initiative and make this one line item in a long list of line items and everything gets lost. So I think that's extremely important. And a couple of other metrics that usually get overlooked quite often is, at the maintenance or MRO level, we're talking about inventory efficiency, which ties into procurement leakage in the sense we get to know what kind of duplicate stock we're carrying, how your inventory is aging, why that is happening, why are we stuck with slow moving inventory, right? So starting off with a combination of this is a good first step because one, it's diagnostic. It gives you a good understanding of your current state, and it also explains why you are in the state you are, even before you start solving the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I just
true.
want to show this question here because it is addressed to both of you. So if you can maybe carry on with that, Shreyas, and then we would like to hear from Shashi.